Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the first podcast by the Debating Society here at Beacon House National University. We have two very special guests here today to talk about education, especially in focus in Punjab. So we have Dr. Murad Raas, who was a previous education minister for this province of Punjab in Pakistan. And we also have Ma'am Rohma, who's a faculty member here at BNU, who's initiated her first program here in the visual arts department. All right, so I'd like if you guys could just give a quick introduction of yourself individually.
Really? Okay. Introduction is I've been a politician for almost 15 years now. I've been elected twice. I've been a education minister twice in the same term.
I have been associated with this school since 2005. I have a design background. I have been working in the advertising sector. I've worked a lot with the development sector. And I have, as you just mentioned, recently been given charge of this new program that the School of Visual Arts and Design started. It's called Interdisciplinary Expanded Design and Art. We call it IEDA.
All right, so I'm just going to start this off with a question that I believe both of you can answer respectively in your own individual personal capacity. So could you share an experience from your student life that has stuck with you and you can remember the most vividly?
Can we speak in English and we can speak in Urdu as well?
Completely your choice.
ठीक है. I was in HSN और उस वक्त in our times बड़ी मार पड़ती थी. अब तो हाथ लगाने की इजाज़त नहीं है. In our times, you would not believe the kind of beating we got was that. But what came out of that beating was that I think we were disciplined to the core. Most of us. Some children, you cannot never change them. Magar, most of us were, even I think that discipline is in us today. Because it was forced into us at that time, kind of. Because you're teenagers and you really don't want to listen and you don't want to do anything. We did every wrong thing possible, but at the same time, that discipline that was put into us, that this is the time for school, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., then it's time for lunch, then there's time for homework, then it's time for sports, and then you go home. So 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening, I think that discipline life that you led for 12 years, I think that made such a difference in our lives. We knew the value of time and we knew to be on time. Till today, I cannot be late. Like you called me at 2:30, I was here at 2:15.
Yeah.
So that's these are the things that have been put in you, and I think from a very young age. So इसलिए ठीक है, मार बड़ी पड़ी थी मगर उसका फायदा बड़ा हुआ है एंड पे.
फायदा बड़ा. So the pros outweigh the cons.
Yeah,
What about you, Ma'am Roma?
It's interesting that, we're talking about disciplines and we're all about blurring and
Yeah.
breaking disciplines. So that's what IDA's mandate is.
Right.
So I feel that we have looked at this world in through both these lenses of kind of understanding it through disciplines.
Yeah.
And I understand that we're talking about discipline in a very different context over here. But we do understand the significance of structure. We understand the significance of discipline. But yet in contemporary world and in modern education, we're looking at ways to kind of revolutionize the way we have understood pedagogy and
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
So I think, again, because the question was about a childhood experience,
Yeah.
I think my childhood experience is really struggling with that. One thing that I'd like to kind of now point out is that I have, a sense of perspective. Once you grow older, you look back at your life and you try and understand things in a different way. And as a parent now also, I really understand the significance of discipline. But in terms of education, I also feel like there was a significance on memory in our school system,
Yeah.
on which has kind of not remained so as in the current times. And I feel like memory is something that one really needs to focus on. It's a skill, a talent that one really needs to inculcate and build, and that is something that I feel that in my childhood was not exercised as much. So I will look at it from something that I did not get as much. And I have looked at now how the teaching can overcome these deficiencies that I have experienced
Yeah.
myself.
So,
So, yeah.
both have shared really interesting perspectives regarding your own personal lives. One shared the value and essence of discipline, and you, Ma'am Roma, shared the importance of understanding through those structures of discipline and seeing where you stand and where you want to go. So, to Dr. Murad, my question would be, how do you assess the current state of education in Punjab, considering your own perspective, and you've heard now Ma'am Roma's perspective, if you look at it from the student point of view?
My God, do we have enough time? I mean, no, I'll make it really brief and I'm not going into the university system, I'm going to the schooling system. I think we are about at least 25 years behind the world, if not more, at least 25 years. I'll tell you कि हमने single national curriculum लेकर आए to improve the books. You would not believe कि single national curriculum से पहले ये 3 साल 4 साल पुरानी बात है. In books, science books, still the floppy disk was in there.
Wow.
So floppy disk that was gone like probably 15, 20 years ago was still being taught in schools and still in the books. And the books were not updated. I think the books have to be updated every year. The way the world is moving, the speed the world is moving at. There was zero technology that was being used. आपको मैं एक छोटी सी एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि टीचर ट्रेनिंग के लिए हर दफ़ा जी टीचर्स को ना 400,000 टीचर्स ठीक है पूरे पंजाब में टीचर्स आर बीइंग कॉल्ड टू डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर्स फॉर ट्रेनिंग हमने ये किया कि हमने सब कुछ फ़ोन पे डाल दिया सारी टीचर ट्रेनिंग और उसको मॉनिटर किस तरह करें डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर्स में लोग बैठ के मॉनिटर करें किस टीचर ने कितना लेसन कितनी देर के लिए खोला है क्या उसके रिजल्ट आए उसने उसका टेस्ट दिया ये वो सब कुछ आप कर सकते हैं सिर्फ आपकी विल होनी चाहिए बच्चों की बुक्स को हमने अपडेट किया करिकुलम को हमने अपडेट किया टेक्नोलॉजी को हमने अपडेट किया ये तो मैंने आपको एक एग्जांपल सिर्फ दी कि हमने टीचर ट्रेनिंग की ताकि टीचर्स घर बैठ के भी अब किसके पास टेलीफोन नहीं है ठीक है हमने टीचर्स को यहाँ तक कि हम तो अब टीचर्स को वो देने लगे थे टैबलेट्स छोटे वाले कुछ हमने दिए भी अभी हम आगे भी देने जा रहे थे ताकि आई मीन मेक देयर लाइव्स ईजियर द ईजियर यू मेक द लाइफ ऑफ द टीचर द बेटर देयर गोइंग टू टीच योर किड्स टीचर ठीक है ना तो सब ठीक है
So you're saying that directly affects the quality of education?
Absolutely. If the teacher, आप दरख्त के नीचे भी टीचर बैठ के पढ़ाएगा ना अगर वो टीचर ठीक है ना वो स्टूडेंट्स विल डू एब्सोल्युटली फाइन अगर टीचर ठीक नहीं है ना और टीचर के वो नहीं है क्वालिफिकेशन तो मैं नहीं कहूँगा इतनी सारी चीज़ें बीच में आती हैं टीचर के वो सारी चीज़ें अगर नहीं है ना तो आप जितना मर्जी ज़बरदस्त क्लासरूम उनको दे दें आप उनको सारी फैसिलिटीज़ दे दें मैं एग्जांपल नहीं दूंगा मैं इनको पहले दे चुका हूँ स्पीकिंग से पहले एग्जांपल सो इसलिए वो मैं दोबारा रिपीट नहीं करूँगा बिकॉज मैं नाम किसी का नहीं लेना चाहता मगर आप जितने मर्जी अच्छे प्राइवेट स्कूल्स में चले जाएं अगर टीचर ठीक नहीं है तो बच्चों को कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता वो बच्चे नहीं पढ़ सकते द की इज़ द टीचर इन दिस होल सिस्टम सो दैट्स व्हाट वी फोकस्ड ऑन माय नंबर वन फोकस वाज ऑन द टीचर को यहाँ पे फंसाया हुआ है पंजाब के अंदर आपने 400,000 टीचर्स को ट्रांसफर्स में मैंने एक स्कूल से दूसरे स्कूल जाना है आपने फंसाया हुआ उनको ACRs के अंदर अपनी प्रमोशंस के अंदर वो दफ्तरों में भाग रहे हैं छुट्टियां लेनी है उसको भाग रहे हैं हमने ये सारी चीज़ें फ़ोन पे कर दी कि अब उनको किसी ऑफिस में जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं
ऑटोमेटेड हो गए
एब्सोल्युटली द रीज़न व्हाई ताकि दे कैन फोकस ऑन योर किड्स दैट्स इट कि अब टीचर को छुट्टी लेने के लिए ऑफिस में जाना अप्लाई कर दे फ़ोन पे ट्रांसफ़र के लिए कहीं नहीं जाना फ़ोन पे QR कोड के साथ ऑर्डर्स आ जाते हैं प्रमोशन के लिए कहीं नहीं जाना उनकी ACR जो है वो उनके फ़ोन पे उनकी रिटायरमेंट का सर्टिफिकेट वो भी फ़ोन पे हमने हर चीज़ फ़ोन पे कर दी And the thing is, just for the teacher to relax and not worry about this extracurricular, useless work that they are busy in, and focus on our children. So that was our first step.
So, Ma'am Roma, when we're talking about teachers and especially
There's a
how,
teacher right
yeah,
here.
exactly.
Exactly.
So the passion that a teacher can bring to a classroom and how that affects the quality of education. Tell us about IDA and how, what the motivation was behind it. What kya passions the aapke that you wanted to bring out through this program?
I think firstly, I would kind of continue with what you just left at. It's great, the reforms that happened during your tenure. But again, going back to what Punjab is and what Punjab needs and what Pakistan is and the current state of education, we know that it's dismal. We know that small steps can be taken, but enough steps have not been taken and have not been taken at the right time.
Yeah.
बहुत late हो गया है. You know, again, we talk about, again, I come from a design background, I have a design perspective. We talk about how India had a national design report in 1958. Nehru started with that. And that you see in their culture, you see in their institutes, you see the clarity of indigenousness, the Swadesiness, that, and it seeps through everything. We do not have a design policy. We yet, abhi tak, nobody's worked on these kind of policies. Our education system, again, some good people come and try and do some work, but it gets sabotaged by other people. And it doesn't, I mean, you know, people are just fighting with each other.
Yeah.
So in terms of, again, a larger system of education, I feel like we need massive reforms. And again, going back to IDA, what and how we came about that, it was again born out of that very need that things cannot stagnate, people cannot stagnate, disciplines cannot stagnate. The way it has, and once you do stagnate, you rot, right? And that is what we've seen happen to our country, our education system. We over here, again, because of the kind of opportunities we got, and we being very fortunate to have like-minded people who were visionaries themselves, so led by, again, Rashid Rana, who set up the school. He started working for the school before the school was even set up. He started with a paper, in the sense that there was nothing. It was just an idea. He started on a paper with the curriculum, and the whole idea was that other institutes came up with a lot of baggage, and which the School of Visual Arts and Design did not have at that time. So we did not have the shackles of history, and we came up with these very unique programs: textile, fashion and accessory design, visual communication design, visual arts, and then we realized that the world is going towards something else, and students are very capable and have some great ideas that we cannot fit into boxes. And how do we give them a platform to marry certain disciplines and blend those ideas? And I remember having an all-faculty meeting, a curriculum committee meeting, in which we spoke about the future of education. And again, what you just said, intention was to do something well and to do something right for the country. So in those discussions, we spoke about how the future may just be, there may be a school of ideas, and there may be a school of materials, and there may be a school of skills, and they may be separated, or they may be together. And we were just speculating, and from that the idea of IDA was born. Where we spoke about, so it's a very intentional name. IDEA and IDA sound familiar because it is about ideas. And it was again to address that very need that people sometimes do not want to just study one discipline. They're interested in more than one things. So how do we give that platform? And that is what led to IDA.
And so what role do you think, and you can answer this as well, what role do you think media can play into this, into sort of teacher programs that teachers are leading and where teachers can contribute the most? What role do you think media can play into this, whether it's social media, whether it's digital media? So essentially, yeah. That.
I mean, media's, I think, biggest role media plays is to create hype, is to create awareness, is to
Yeah.
talk about things, is to bring ideas to people. So I remember doing a campaign for Care Foundation where we spoke about again the education situation in Punjab and about ghost schools.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know about ghost schools, and we realized through running that campaign. I myself realized what's happening.
When was this?
This was 5 years ago,
Okay.
or more, maybe. So we were, and there are. I mean, I'm sure there's some again maybe reforms that you.
We tried to close as many as possible, and especially when they were side by side, क्योंकि कई इस तरह के स्कूल थे जो कि इतना कम डिस्टेंस था दोनों के दरमियान कि एक स्कूल में बच्चे इतने नहीं थे कि दूसरा स्कूल भी यूटिलाइज हो सके. So we did was कि we shut that one down and we put जो उसमें थोड़े से जा रहे थे वो हमने उसी में मूव कर दिया दूसरी वाले में. But there's a lack of schools in Punjab as well. There's so many schools are required कि
I mean, lack is one thing, and go schools is another thing.
Yeah.
And then again, there is, of course, in terms of our social hierarchy, there is then this immense sense of privilege in some people.
Yeah.
And in some schools. And that hierarchy, I feel like the disparity is just, it's too polarized. And that is also something that we need to collectively work towards.
Yeah.
How do we bridge those gaps and boundaries?
So exactly, that's my last question that I think concludes this entire debate. It's how can universities and policymakers collaborate to bridge that gap between academic curricula and the evolving needs of the industries? And that's a question for both of you.
I think, first of all, we all have to work together at this. This cannot be, unfortunately, what we do in this country are we select some people and we are always seeing the same faces there again and again at these important meetings of curriculum, of different things that has to do with education. You always see the same faces. No. Because if the same faces were doing something, the change would have come by now.
Yeah,
So
you'd
that
see it.
means you need some newer faces, some younger people involved, some different people involved with different qualifications. Like she's sitting with us, and what she explained to me today was incredible what they're doing. I think it's fantastic. It is completely out of the box.
Yeah.
And I think it's something because we have been, the people at these meetings, Mujtaba, I'll tell you, are people that come from the generation in which they said, oh, either you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, and third, or maybe you can be a bureaucrat, and that's it, and then go home. There's nothing, no fourth opportunity. That's the mindset.
Close-minded mindset.
Exactly. That's the mindset that they come from. The people that are running these meetings. I think we need to involve younger people in it. I think we have to diversify. The world is not about doctors and lawyers and engineers anymore. It is about 100 more opportunities that the kids have now and will have as the future is moving way faster than we ever think it is. So I think diversity is number one thing that is needed in these meetings and to bring people together and to work together. To just focus on few things and the same mindset in all these meetings, it's not going to work. It has not worked up till now. So if you look at it, it really hasn't. What she's doing and what maybe some other people are doing, what she's doing, are very few. This needs to be promoted more. Things like that. So that, I mean, like I was telling her about my daughter that she would be very interested in what she's doing.
Yeah.
And my daughter could never think of, or I didn't have the knowledge that she was doing this.
Yeah.
So the last thing that you were talking about, the media thing, is things like these that are being done, this IEDA program, because when you said IEDA, I knew some lady named IEDA, and I thought she was coming here. So she was also in education, and I thought maybe she's coming here. Then I found out this is a different IEDA. So, no, these things need to be promoted, and these need to be shown, and these need to be explained to people that these options are there. And I think at the end of the day, we all have to work in the same direction. It's our country. It's our kids. We have to take care of them one way or the other. But the thing is that let's focus on them. They are the future. We're sitting here today. We're not going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we need to prepare them for tomorrow, and we're not doing it. And that's the truth, that we're not preparing our children for tomorrow. And that's what we need to do.
Again, and yeah, absolutely, all these things, and thank you for appreciating what we're
No,
doing in the
absolutely.
department. And I think also the what we mean by collaboration. So one thing that I noticed, there was a lot of mention of meetings, and I've been, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate to attend a few government level meetings, and
My God. Aren't they
and
the worst?
and what a waste of
What a
resources, what a
waste of
waste of
time.
time, what a
Absolutely.
waste of so many other people involved who are conducting those meetings, who are helping with those meetings to happen. And if that could be kind of again changed,
Yeah.
if that could be taken maybe online, all those the chai walas, and I mean I keep thinking about
10 unnecessary people are sitting in that meeting that have nothing to do with
and there
anything.
is no okay, so and you're being called for a meeting on conversation or collaboration, and none of that happens except for people pleasing, and you're pleasing whoever's in charge.
Yeah.
um, and that mindset really needs to change, and we need to break that. And in terms of again collaboration, again this department is kind of the backbone of the department is collaboration. We have to collaborate with people from other disciplines, because again you have to have experts who can come in and advise students, advise people on how to develop projects. So the backbone is collaboration, and people need to come together. There needs to be, again, in the way people and organizations come together, there needs to be very transparent set of agendas and what people are gaining from each other, whether it's in-kind support or whether it is some kind of monetary support, or if it's just visibility. So those kind of items need to be listed down, and there needs to be clarity when one is going towards collaborations. And more than that, I think so. Industry, for us, industry is very. It's very broad. Because you just spoke about academia industry collaboration,
Yeah.
and industry wants academia to follow its dictates,
Yeah.
and academia is wanting to break away from that and wanting to innovate.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a common ground where the two can come together. And if industry can be open to the kind of the kind of innovation academia is bringing about, it would go towards prosperity and success, rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are the areas we need to work towards for progress.
Thank you, both of you, for coming here and taking out your time to get involved in this discussion. We hope to see you again next time. And also, we want to thank you. As a representative of the student body, we would like to thank you for your continued support and your contribution to the field of education. And we hope that more people like you can join in this effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck for your debating society.
Thank you.